Hi, I'm Ron Rantilla, inventor of the front rower rowing system. That's me in the stern, and that's Elizabeth in the bow. The boat is the Harbor Cruiser 18. We are using 2 front rower rowing stations. In this scene, we are rowing up the Warren River in Warren, Rhode Island. This is a tidal river that flows both ways. It reverses directions 4 times a day. Right now we are going against the tidal current, so our progress over land is reduced by that amount. We have plenty of reserve power to make headway, even in narrows where the current is much stronger. Our speed through the water here is 5 or 6 miles an hour. This is an easy pace for us. The effort feels about like walking or hiking, but it's actually better exercise because we're using more muscles and our heart rates are slightly higher. It's more comfortable than walking for long distances because we're sitting down and our feet never get tired. And it's more fun because we get to see things we don't see every day from land.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Before we tried doubles rowing, we didn't know what to expect. We had heard that it was hard to synchronize 2 rowers, but we found that it was really very easy. The person in front rows at a steady pace, and the person behind follows. When you're rowing, you steer by taking slightly longer strokes on one side. At first, we were both trying to steer, and sometimes canceling each other out. So now we decide who's doing the steering, and the other person just rows evenly on both sides. Doubles rowing has some advantages over solo rowing in separate boats. If you row at the same speed as you do in solo boats, you'll each do about half as much work. So you won't tire as easily and will be able to go longer distances. You'll have twice as much power available if you need it, and you'll always have someone to share the scenery with.
Some rowing boats are designed for racing. Others are designed for utility use. The Harbor Cruiser 18 is designed for touring. Touring is rowing for the enjoyment of the voyage, and touring implies that you are going to be traveling some distance rather than floating around in one small area. I designed the Harbor Cruiser 18 after many years experimenting with various rowboat designs. I couldn't find an existing design that I liked as a doubles touring boat. It had to be big enough to accommodate 2 front rower rowing stations, and light enough to be easily handled for transporting and launching. I didn't want a skinny boat with low sides like a shell, or a boat that you sit on top of. I wanted a boat that we could sit down inside of, with enough freeboard to keep us dry and enough room to bring some extra clothing, lunch, and sometimes our 50-pound dog along. I wanted it to have enough stability to allow me to relax and maybe even take a nap without worrying about tipping over. And I wanted it long enough to be efficient at touring speeds. The Harbor Cruiser is 18 feet long and weighs about 80 pounds. The hull form is designed for maximum efficiency at 6.5 miles an hour. Maximum sprint speed is about 7.5 miles an hour. The nearly plumb bow gives it a long water line. The transom is entirely above the water. Under the water, the stern closes to an edge, kind of like the bow. This makes for low drag and eliminates the need for a skeg or rudder. For touring, you want to be able to use your arms and your legs, so you can generate lots of power with low perceived effort. And you want an efficient system so you don't waste that power. The front rower allows you to develop at least as much power as a rear-facing sliding seat rig, but the front rower uses moving pedals instead of a sliding seat to develop power much more efficiently. This allows you to travel further or faster with the same amount of energy expended. The front rower's handles are a big improvement over gripping the oars directly. Not only do they allow the oars to feather automatically, they position your hands with the palms facing inward rather than downward. This is a better position for pulling and places less stress on your wrists and forearms.
There are 2 reasons why someone would want to row a boat like this. One is for the fun of it, the adventure of seeing what's around the next bend. The other is because it's good exercise. Rowing is high-quality aerobic exercise which strengthens and conditions your heart, lungs, and arteries and does lots of other good things for your mind and body. The intensity of the exercise can vary over a wide range. It can be easy, like walking through a garden, or it can be more strenuous, like jogging or running fast. But unlike jogging or running, rowing is low impact and low risk of injury. Rowing uses muscles all over your body. This makes it easy to burn lots of calories while you feel like you are doing less work. And because it's fun and interesting, it keeps you motivated.
For a change of pace, the front rower gives you this option, which no other type of rowing or paddling does: rowing with just your legs. It's really easy to row this way. The oars lift, feather, and return to the front automatically. This allows you to use your hands for other things, like taking photographs or fixing lunch while you're cruising along. Here we tied a boat to the dock to show you how leg rowing works. The oars lift, feather, and return to the front automatically. Feathering is when the oars rotate so the blades offer less wind resistance and are less likely to catch the water on the return stroke. You can use the boat with just one front rower rowing station. That's me. Seven and a half miles an hour. There are lots of nice traditional rowing boats, but the problem with using them for touring is that you can't see where you are going. And with traditional fixed seat rowing, you don't exercise your legs. Sliding seat rowing lets you use your legs, but is inefficient because the back and forth motion wastes a lot of energy. These rigs are difficult to use, and the rear-facing position makes them impractical for touring. The front rower is more efficient and is capable of outperforming these rigs on the same boats. You can find out more about the front rower's performance and efficiency on my website, frontrower.com. Some people resort to push rowing to solve the directional problem, but push rowing doesn't use your legs and isn't very powerful. With paddling, you can see where you're going, but the problem with paddling is that you don't use your leg muscles. You're only exercising half your body. With a front rower, you have a forward-facing position and you can use your arms and your legs. This gives you more power and better quality exercise than paddling. Using your large leg muscles makes it easier to go longer distances and to carry passengers. It also makes it easy to reach target aerobic levels and to burn lots of calories. An ordinary canoe with a front rower installed can make an excellent exercise boat. And you can vary your stroke by using just your arms or just your legs. And you have the option of stopping and resting in a comfortable seat with a backrest. The front rower is a self-contained unit. It comes complete with frame, seat, and oars. To install a front rower in your canoe, you need to make two modifications. Most canoes have a single crossbar in the middle of the boat. This crossbar will need to be removed and two new crossbars installed. This will give you room for the front rower in the center of the boat. The second thing you need to do is to glue some mounting pads in the bottom of the boat. You'll need 2 pads for each position. This boat has an extra set of pads for a second position. Once you've made these modifications, it's easy to install and remove the front rower. Thumb screws thread into the mounting pads, one in the front and one in the rear. The oars snap into place. One of the biggest challenges in designing the front rower was to come up with a comfortable seat. For comfort when sitting in a low position, you need a backrest. The front rower's uniquely designed seat has a swiveling backrest, which gives support while allowing a back and forth rocking motion of your torso. The seat back has adjustable reclining positions, so you can find one that is comfortable for your stroke. The seat adjusts fore and aft like a car seat for different sized people. The fabric is open mesh and it has some extra padding for additional comfort. The oars operate at 2 levels, the lower level for the power stroke and the upper level for the return stroke. The oars are spring-loaded to lift up out of the water unless something is forcing them down. What forces them down is the angle of the ropes. The oars can be manually lifted above the spring lifting level, but you don't need to lift them for normal rowing. They lift by themselves high enough to clear the water. The oars rotate freely 1/4 of a turn. The rotation is limited by the stopper in this slot. The handle is attached off-center so that when you push forward, it rolls the oar forward into the feathered position, and when you pull back, it rotates the oar back into the squared or vertical position. The return spring pulls the oar forward on the return stroke. The pedals are connected to the oars by ropes and pulleys. The pedals are independent, so you can take different length strokes for steering. With sliding seat systems, your leg power is transmitted to the oars through your back and arms. With the front rower, your leg power is transmitted through the ropes. This is an advantage not only because it lets you row hands-free, but it reduces the stress on your back and arms. The complete system weighs 25 pounds and will fit in the back seat of most cars.
If your launching site is within walking distance, a cart will make transporting really easy. To make the boat turn, you just take a longer stroke on one side, or you can stroke on one side only. To make a sharper turn, you can hold the inside oar down, like this. To make the boat spin around, you can stroke forward on one side and backward on the other. And you can row backward if you want to.
The oars can be lifted as high as needed. This is useful when coming into the dock. To ship the oars, you can swing them forward like this. Or you can snap the oars out and put them inside. The oars can be used as paddles. You can use the front rower in boats having a maximum beam of 37 inches or less and an open cockpit area at least 60 inches long and 22 inches wide. Here's one in an Alden Appledore pod. This one's installed in an Alden Ocean Shell. This is the boat I used to beat the entire fleet of rear-facing sliding seat touring shells in the 22-mile Blackburn Challenge in 1996. We've found that for general-purpose touring or exercise rowing, tandem recreational canoes are hard to beat. If you already own a canoe, there is no need to buy another boat. The canoe shown here is the Concord, made by Lincoln Canoe in Freeport, Maine. In Kevlar layup, it weighs about 45 pounds. It's available front rower ready from us or directly from the manufacturer in Freeport. For two-person rowing, we recommend the Harbor Cruiser 18. This boat is available from us in kit form, stitch and glue construction with fiberglass exterior, and it's an easy design to build. Finished boats are available on a limited basis. Over the years, we've sold hundreds of front rowers to people in 9 different countries. Front rowers and boat kits are UPS shippable. Finished boats can be picked up at our shop in Warren or delivered by special arrangement. For more information about these boats or about the front rower rowing system, please visit our website, frontrower.com, or you can contact me by phone at 401-247-1482.